to Mari's Golden Hour. Thank you so much for joining me. So I apologize in advance for when you might be receiving this, and also for the fact that I might sound a little bit more subdued than I normally would. I am just off what I believe is the longest conversation I have had to date. I think my runners-up were 5 hours, maybe 6 hours in more recent times. Prior to that, I think the longest conversation I ever had was in grade school with a guy that I had a crush on. And no, I'm not going to name any names, but hopefully he's out there and maybe he's listening. I'm not too sure, but I hope he's well. But yeah, it was a very, very, very long conversation, just shy of, well, a very long day, but it was a conversation I thoroughly enjoyed. So anyway, so I forgot to mention last week about watching, what was that movie? Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Oh my goodness. I watched that and was just, I loved it. I loved watching it. And it was all part of my, the stuff I was watching for Halloween. All that fun, spooky, cheesy, classic stuff. Although, interesting enough, this time around this year, I didn't get a chance to watching some of the other classics like Halloween or Friday the 13th or Nightmare on Elm Street or Scream or any of that stuff. It was a lot of other random B movies that were scary or quirky somehow. But Killer Clowns from Outer Space, as cheesy as it was, I rather enjoyed it. And it had a lot of really good one-liners. And the guy that played was Dean Faber from Animal House. He was in it, and I think he had some of the best lines delivered. And I wish I remembered them because they were good. What else happened? I'm just kind of letting Halloween spill over a little bit. I did a little bit of a cheat, as much as I can't stand it when Christmas bleeds into all the other holidays and you start to see Christmas decorations and things in August. That's not cool. But admittedly, I think in late August or September, I started watching a couple of those cheesy Christmas movies. So I'm just kind of doing the blend and the blur and the mixing of Halloween and Christmas. But interesting enough, I haven't included anything Thanksgiving in on that. I don't know. Thanksgiving's that odd holiday where really doesn't become like a thing until a week or 2 weeks before. But the beginning part of November, it's like, a little too early to start thinking about Thanksgiving. And then as far as the decorations it's late. As far as the decorations are concerned, the Halloween things, it all can blend into Thanksgiving. Alright, I'm going to let that subject go because I'm just going off on a really weird tangent. But to stay on that weird tangent, something else I thought of is, why are all the major holidays at the end of the month? I don't know if it's one of those planned out things where it's done for money, but all the major holidays, the ones that we really enjoy, those happen towards the end of the month, if not the very end of the month. And is it like it's a reward for something, and that's why it's at the end? It's because there was harvesting and whatnot to be done, or there's planting to be done. So, but that all happens at the beginning of the month. So then, the reward for a job well done, hey, you planted your seeds, and here's a straw festival to celebrate, or we're going to celebrate with bacon or, you know, something. But it's at the end of the month. And let's see, stuff in the spring. Let's see. There aren't too many, like, super fun, happy things to celebrate in the spring. Something that, you know, everybody gets into and enjoys. Yeah. Anything else that's super major, it all happens at the end of the month. Huh. I mean, there is Easter. So that's not an end of the month thing. Although, weirdly enough, that day and date, well, not the day, it's always going to be on this Sunday, but the date, I feel like it keeps shifting. Like when I was younger, Easter was always in April. But then, I don't know, in other years, Easter became sometime in March. It's weird. So, not much of huge interest happened today. I unveiled a new pen. Yep, it's my new pen that I don't know, I have no idea how I came across this pen. I think it was like a gift for something or from something, from somebody, I can't remember, but it's a really good pen. And in a way, it kind of looks like a weapon, but it's, I don't know, it just has like a threatening look to it, but it writes really well, picks up everything. Yeah, and I just kind of chilled. I had some difficult weeks. You know, it was a combination of stuff with my hands, which that's been going on for a lot longer than I wanted to. I'm still not too sure exactly what's wrong with it. And just had some difficulty in getting somebody to see it and getting it taken care of and just getting mixed messages and being bounced around either physically or, you know, virtually. Just, and then been having a lot of plumbing issues too. That's been a lot of fun. That's been going on way too long. But I recently had plumbers over. There was like 4 of them, and you know, checking things out and trying to get stuff fixed. Which even then, they didn't permanently fix it. I think it's just a band-aid. So at some point, the permanent fix will have to happen. But who knows when and if that'll happen. And so yeah, it didn't register until well after the fact that I had 4 dudes that rolled on up and, you know, trying to get stuff taken care of. And I think one of them had like a Rico Suave look, and I was just so perturbed and irked and annoyed and just stressed out from the whole ordeal. I was just too distracted to notice. Although not that distracted that I noticed that one of them had a Rico Suave look. What else is going on? Well, we got the Rock Roll Hall of Fame induction ceremony, which I think by this point has already happened. Although I really wasn't clear when it was supposed to air because of the differences in time zones. But I believe by now it's already been performed and it's already done. But I started watching the 9 Inch Nails conversation, and I didn't get a chance to finish it. I got, I don't know, maybe at most about 10 minutes into it, and it's not that I was bored with it, and it's not that it was a bad interview, but at the point in time that I saw it, which it was really early this morning, because for whatever reason I got up super early, and then just decided to just kind of lounge and not do anything for the rest of the day. Even though I did do stuff, so weird. Anyway, I don't know, but at that point, I needed more like movement and glitter. Like I just needed to watch something more trashy, and so I ended up just watching drag queens just act up, just get a sense of like, I don't know, some sort of like comfort and just like general. And as much as I love music, I love all things that are sexy and things that are 9 Inch Nails and Trent Reznor and just, you know, rooting for the home team in a way. But I definitely love my bright and shiny a lot more. So I will get back and check that out, but that was about as close to the induction ceremony that I got. a random video popped up, and basically I happened to see Pete Davidson on it, and he's not somebody that I'm into, but for whatever reason I saw it, and because what little I do see of him on SNL, it's like, it's okay. I don't see what the big deal is, but I'm not doubting his talent for writing or for being funny, but I just haven't seen it. And again, I'm not making light of the hard work that they all do on that show, because I know it's not easy and not everybody can do it. But yeah, so on that show, there was like maybe one or two things that I saw. One of them was when RuPaul hosted, and it was a skit where RuPaul and Ego were playing cops. I saw a glimmer of something in that particular skit. I'm like, okay, I can see where the appeal is. And then I think the SNL music videos that they do, those are pretty good. Those are okay. But other than that, just not my bag of tea. Oh, and a side note, when RuPaul hosted that show and did the skit where he played a miner, not like a miner like a little kid, but a miner, like a coal miner, that skit is wonderful, and it is just fantastic, and it's basically, it's all things Dynasty, and it's hilarious. I love it. But getting back to Pete Davidson, I recently watched a clip of him doing a roast of Rob Lowe on Comedy Central, and I swear it is gold. Absolute gold. It's cringy, but it's funny, and I feel for the person that are on that dais, but it was good. It really was good. If they have a good sense of humor about themselves, it's, you can let things roll off your back, but if you don't, he didn't hold any punches. So definitely check that out. So watching that led to looking at something of Machine Gun Kelly, which I came across a random video that he did, and it was something of like Cleveland slang, and I didn't realize that he was from Cleveland at all. I had no idea. So I watched it. I had to, and it was kind of nice just to reminisce a little bit. And what he had to say, not all of it was completely accurate, and some of that is his age. He is young, and there were a couple of specifics in there that's like, all right, yeah, it's that. However, it was called something else, and it's not like he is that young where he wouldn't know better. So, but yeah, there are many well-knowns that are from that area, and it was just interesting to find out that he's one of them. I had no idea. Have I mentioned how much I love my new pen? Because I do. So yeah, today was more of a coffee and rain day. Not a full-on rain. It was more like sprinkles of water at the early AM. Those kind of sprinkles. And not the sugar sprinkles, but the water sprinkles. And yeah, I woke up pretty early and debated what to do for the day and if I should do laundry and, just the basic, life maintenance stuff, I like to call it. And as soon as I thought, well, nope, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to enjoy my warm bed. I wanted to enjoy that more. And once I made that decision, that's when I ended up hearing raindrops. So I felt like, all right, I made the right decision. Along with that decision, because I thought, well, at some point I'm going to get thirsty, and decided to make some coffee. And I swear, a bag of those ground coffee beans, that is just one of my favorite smells. Oh, I love that smell. And earlier this week, I saw a photo of food that I'm not quite familiar with. And the best way I can describe it, it looks like, when you're looking at the, when the weather person is giving their their forecast, and they're showing the icons for a hurricane, like moving through. This looks like that animated hurricane look, but it's in food form. And so, like on either end, like it has like little points, like it looks like an eye, and it's all dough. So think of like a hurricane like swirl, but in dough form. So that it has points on both ends, and there's like an egg yolk that serves as the pupil. And what it is, it's like a Georgian dish, like Eurasian, Georgia, not like dirty South Georgia. And it's full of cheese and eggs and I think some other stuff, and bread. And you can't go wrong with that combo. And you can use the bread in order to like dip it into the cheese, and just from that list, like what is there not to like? And the name of it, I think I'm going to pronounce it properly, at least I hope. Khachapuri. I think that's how you pronounce it. But yeah, it's a Georgian dish, and I haven't checked out the recipe to verify the ingredients, but from what I saw of photos, they look really good. All except for the egg yolk. I'm not a fan of just an uncooked egg. I mean, I'm sure it's cooked, but I don't like the runny egg product. It's not my jam at all. And, but I don't know, I think maybe the egg, that's possibly what makes it a traditional khachapuri dish, or a traditional Georgian dish. Because, I don't know, it's not like no other culture would not have that. I know I'm babbling, so sorry. But, yeah, I'm just wondering for that particular combo and what it looks like. Like, does the egg yolk make it a standard Georgian dish? And is that what makes it khachapuri? I don't know. Just wondering. What else random stuff? Oh, I saw this group. It's called Haim. I saw them in an interview. Where did I see them? Saw them on Decent Samaro. And I don't know what it is. It's not like it was like this mind-blowing interview where they were dropping gems or anything, but I don't know, there's just something about it. They just seem really nice, and they seem, there's just something grounded about them. And I honestly cannot put my finger on why I enjoyed that interview so much, but I just remember I watched it, and I just was like, huh, and I just kind of felt nice, and like things are okay after watching it. I don't know why. It's weird. Another random stumble. I came across a YouTube video. I'm trying to remember the title. I think there's something wrong with Hallmark's YouTube channel. That's the title. And the creator, her name is Jenny Nicholson, and she's kind of young, but she seems to have like an insightful take on reviews of bad to horrible things. It can be books, movies, TV shows, maybe even art. I'm not too sure, but checked out a few of her videos, and they're actually pretty good. And she's fine, but what I loved even more about this particular episode that caught my attention is that it showcases the shadiness of this kind of catty suburban woman that's on this Hallmark YouTube channel. And I've never heard of this show. I've never watched it. But the crafts that were featured in this review that I was checking out, they looked basic as hell. Like real basic. Like it's like stuff you can make with like a zero budget, and it's all like DIY stuff. But what I found interesting is people who already don't have any money, they already know how to make stuff. They know how to wow people with things that they barely have and how to make do with nothing. And even with what little they do have, and they're able to make something out of nothing, it looks way better in presentation than some of the crap I saw that was featured in this video that that Jenny was reviewing. But I don't get it. It's like they were just going like on and on about, oh wow, you can create this great thing. But, it kills me. It's like these heifers can like get a paycheck with their pottery barn selves doing nothing crafts. So I don't know. And it's not like they're the only ones that do that, but I'm amazed at that particular hustle. Hey, more power to them. I'm not bitter. No bitters, no bitterness, all love. Still, come on. I shouldn't be surprised about that, but still, come on. Oh, here is a really good suggestion. Danny Elfman's video of Happy, I think it recently got released. I think I saw it like hours after he ended up putting it out, and it is all the best kinds of weird and quirky and awesome. That I don't want to talk any more about it to give it away, but just definitely check that out. If you're into Danny Elfman at all or any of his music, it is definitely worth it. Like, I am there for it. I am there for all sorts of kinds of stuff for that. An article I read, oh my gosh, it's about a humpback whale. It looks like it's swallowing 2 kayakers, and I saw the video for that, and I am like a huge nope. All kinds of nope, all sorts of nope. I don't understand why these people would be kayaking where they were. And even if it's like a little bay, it's like, well, in this bay at this time of year, whales are out. So I'm like, hell the fuck no. Because honestly, when this humpback whale comes out to, what is that? When they beach? Is that what it is? No, breach. Yeah, is that right? Yeah. They come up for air, basically. That would terrify me to no end. I mean, just, I can't even imagine at all. But yeah, it's the little clip that I saw. I'm like, hell no. No. So, I don't know, a few days ago, it was sometime this week, I was reading about this article about these cops who had a slow reaction because they feared that this dying man might have been armed. And a man that they shot in the abdomen, they thought he was armed. And so they were very, very slow to react. And basically they ended up shooting at a couple. And they shot at them, they were injured, and the ambulance took like good 8 minutes to arrive. And the main cop who shot at them didn't even turn on his body cam until after the shooting. So that's a huge shock. So I'm just kind of hoping, like, I kind of hope that things of this nature would, I don't know, slow down, would stop, not exist anymore, not happen. But I know that's a very naive thought, but I still hold on to it. Cannot remember if I talked about this last week or not, and I'm not too sure if at the point I already saw any of the clips, but the Bill Burr monologue, that was awesome and on point, and I love Bill Burr. His monologue was just straight fire, just well crafted, and everything about it, just everything landed perfectly. And even having the kind of crowd that he had to work with, he still delivered a flawless stand-up routine. I mean, yeah, there was maybe like one obvious slip, but overall, it's fire, straight fire. And even with that, you still knew what he was talking about. But as far as the whole election thing is concerned. I guess there's a new president. At least that's what all the messages I was receiving throughout the day told me. And, I didn't really pay much attention to all the election stuff. I think it was like the day before the election. That's when I stopped paying attention. And purposefully not paying attention. I had gotten fed up with all of it. I mailed in my vote and made sure I made my researched and informed decisions on local, state, and federal issues and people. And definitely for election day, I avoided watching any and all coverage of that. And even in the days following, I couldn't be bothered. I had my own problems that I had to deal with, and major problems to deal with. And, because I know that my life doesn't stop or change, no matter who is put in office, no matter who wins whatever election. At least nothing changes immediately. And, I don't know, my particular views on that, the best I can give as an example is when Dave Chappelle posted the last Saturday Night Live that took place immediately after an election. And it is in the wordage of his monologue that he did. And also there was a skit that he was in that was an election night skit. And overall, it was just how nothing ever changes. And, it's, I don't know. So, I don't know. I think, the only reason why that there was a lot of change or things were noticed is just because, people were forced to see it. There was a lockdown, and people needed a distraction, and they needed something to do, and that's why a lot of people saw the light, whereas a lot of people saw the light and were serious about it and enacted change, and then other people, maybe they just hopped on the bandwagon. I don't know. It's late, and I'm getting, bleh. So, let's see, what else did I come across? Oh, there's a Ram pickup truck that's available for a mere $260,000, and only 10 of them have been made. And, I don't know, why would anybody bother with this? Why would anybody make them? And would lead anybody to purchase something like this? A Ram truck that's a sedan. Basically, it's, I believe it's modeled after a presidential limo. I don't know if there's one in particular or just all the presidential limos have this look. But, I'm not going to lie, it looks pretty luxurious. And even though I would poo-poo the whole thing, just based off of an initial glance in the price tag, I guess if I actually had the dough to spend and, I just had money coming out my butt and I could just burn it to my heart's content, I actually might spend money on it and get myself an Italian luxury sedan. And I don't know. I don't know if there's this thing of people just turning Rams into Italian luxury vehicles, or this is just something kitschy and quirky that this particular manufacturer wanted to do, but that's what resulted in what is called the Palladium. And I guess it was created to compete with Bentley and Rolls-Royce sedans for whatever reason. No idea. But it does look nice. And I think that the Italian design company is called Asnon X-Ram. I don't know, Asnon. The name is sort of like for a spacecraft or a planet or a being from some sort of spacey environment. Asnon. But whatever. But it's just all based in Italian luxury goods, and it looks kind of cool. And I could see why somebody would want to purchase it. But not me, and not right now. another article I came across. It was about a dad who he was slamming his daughter's elementary school over this ridiculous lunchtime rules, basically. And the teacher of his kid didn't like the fact that the wife, the kid's mom, was packing these really fun lunches for their child. And the teacher was claiming that it might upset the other kids and, make them feel bad. And the dad wrote back pretty much saying, no, not going to stop it. And I don't care if the kids get upset. And maybe this will be a good teaching moment for you. and I love the fact that the husband did not back down on that. And yeah, the teacher was just, I believe in the wrong on this one. But reading about that, it just reminded me of my own dad, who there was a time when he was laid off of work and he had all this extra free time. And I happened to still be going to school at the time. And I can't remember if it was like my freshman year, my sophomore year. I remember being in school and he would make my lunches, but he'd like make my sandwiches in weird shapes or something interesting, or he'd add something quirky to my lunch. And every day was always something different, and it kind of became like this thing to look forward to. And then, so I was thinking about that, and also how my mom would make us birthday cupcakes. But, like anytime it was our birthday, she would make cupcakes, but she'd make enough for our whole class, or our homeroom, or, whatever classroom we were in grade school. And I remember she also used to make these, they were birthday cupcakes that she would make, but she would make them with ice cream cones, like the regular kitty cone, not the sugar cone, but the other one with the flat bottom. I don't know how she did it. It was like magic, but she would make cupcakes out of them, with the cool frosting and everything. And she ended up using the decorative sprinkles, not the ones that were all like sugary. I mean, she'd use those too, but she used like the good ones, the ones with the silver balls. Those were always the fun ones. And really good frosting. But yeah, so that's what Mom would do. And I was thinking about this because I was in a conversation with a friend about food, and who happens to be a huge foodie. And it just reminded me of my dad would have a garden. And usually a garden that was like on a farm. And he was able to grow any and all things. Like, he ended up growing lots of things that were like really huge because he just knew how to grow stuff. Like, he has like this, like a fantastic great thumb. And he would grow produce that wasn't genetically modified or filled with pesticides, and everything was just so sweet and so good. Any sort of vegetable or fruit you can think of, that's what he grew. And they were good, like good enough to win a bunch of blue ribbons, like continuously through years at the county fair. And I was also reminded of it whenever I recently got this tomato jelly spread from Trader Joe's, and I was expecting it to be really, really good. And sadly, I was a little let down by it. Like, it's not bad. It's it's okay. But it's like, if I didn't already have tomato jelly, that I think it's my mom that would make tomato jelly out of the tomatoes that my dad brought home from the garden. And to have that homemade is delicious. Absolutely delicious. And if I wasn't spoiled, and if I didn't have that already, I would probably think that the little jar that I got from Trader Joe's was probably like a genius creation, and just think it was just the best thing since sliced bread or something. But it's merely okay, because this stuff that was made from scratch by my mom was way better. And I was also reminded of fried tomatoes. You know, my dad would do fried green tomatoes with a really decent batter, and even sometimes just regular fried tomatoes. They were just so yummy. And what was the other favorite flavor of mine? Oh, he'd grow yellow watermelon. Oh my gosh. I loved it even more than just regular watermelon. It was just somehow just sweeter. I don't know what it is, but it was just absolutely delicious. And even though I've already had a late dinner, and I even had like a late dessert, which really the dessert, but everything that I kind of mixed together, it was pretty much like a fancy trail mix. But still, my mouth is watering just thinking about the yellow watermelon. And I was fortunate enough, when I lived elsewhere in town, he would ship me yellow watermelon. He'd get one of the smaller ones and he'd ship that, and he'd also ship me like a couple years of corn. And even after freezing that corn, definitely freezing the corn, not freezing the watermelon, it tasted delicious after cooking it. It was just so incredibly sweet, and just like, oh man, it just, even frozen, after being frozen, it was still so incredibly sweet and fresh. Oh, loved it. So something that my sibling ended up making me rather jealous, and she was having something from home that I miss a lot, that I can't get out here, and she was having a Christmas ale, and that is delicious. And the particular brand that's back home, it's called the Great Lakes Brewing Company, and I haven't had every single flavor known to man. Actually, no, I think maybe I have at some point. I have no idea, like, if they developed other creations, but my favorite has always been the Dortmunder Gold, which it's award-winning, and the Christmas ale, can't go wrong with it. It is just, it's a staple back home, basically. So she was able to get it for like a song, and I think it was like a little bit of a typo at the place where she got it, and so a typo with the price. So once people got wind of that, they ended up buying them up pretty quick, and so it ended up hiking back up, like, you know, many dollars than it was supposed to be. But regardless, she just made me jealous by having that deliciousness. And the last time that I had that Dortmunder Gold, it was a friend from back home decided to celebrate his birthday in Vegas. And so a bunch of us, you know, ended up flying out to celebrate it with him, and he ended up smuggling some of it there. It was either him or somebody else. And the bottle that I had, it was warm, and even warm, it was so flippin' delicious. Oh, I miss it so much. I wonder if I can get it shipped. Yeah, I might do that and just treat myself one of these days to that. But it just made me just, I don't know, miss the taste of home. It's like the taste, the smell, the location, you know, just talking with my sister, it was like, I realized that, oh, I haven't had a good kolache in like years. And like, I miss pierogies. I miss pierogies from this dive bar back home called Becky's, that really, I can't call it like a true dive bar, because there's some divey bars, but it's like the neighborhood bar that is just, they have, and I don't know if things have changed, but they made the best pierogies. And my favorite were always the cheese and potato pierogies that were, you know, boiled, a little bit of sauteed action going on there, but I always asked for the onions. And because I knew the owner and knew the manager there, I got the hook of having the sauteed mushrooms. Oh my gosh, it was so good. And then getting the side of sour cream with that, and it is on. And I miss Guido's pizza. Yeah, it's called Guido's, but the pizza is just delicious. It's anytime I go back home, I always make sure I get like however many slices I can take. It's so good. And never mind. But yeah, just, I don't know, just visiting certain spots that are off the beaten path back home, and some of the more mainstream places, like there's, you know, different falls, and hanging out at the lake, and sitting on the rocks, and being at the lake, I could just stay there for hours and hours and hours. And there's like the best scenic drives that are out there, and really cool landmarks. And I know people will make fun of Cleveland for days and days, but it really is a cool place it's a cool place to have been from, and a cool place to hang out, and just a lot of surprising, fun places that, you know, many people don't know about. Even people that live there aren't fully aware of them, but definitely if you're not from there and you poo-poo the place, it's like, you're missing out. It's cool stuff. And, yeah, oh, well, I think I'm gonna go ahead and end this, because I feel like I'm just like, bleh. My tongue is feeling a little bit heavy, and, yeah, I feel like my voice is a little bit shot and about ready to go. But another random thought that I had, for whatever reason, I had Islands in the Stream in my head, in like the version with Dolly Parton and Kenny Rogers. I don't know why, but it just popped in my head. But something, you know, I didn't fully know. I didn't know that it was originally written for Marvin Gaye. And that song, basically, it's like for the Brothers Gibb. With that song, I believe with that song alone, like they, I think, are the only group, or the only people that have achieved #1 songs in 5 decades straight. Which, that's not an easy feat. And, yeah, a very difficult one. So, I commend them. I applaud them. And you know what? I am going to wrap up this golden hour. I appreciate you listening to me this long and sticking with it, even though I've been trying to remain somewhat quiet. So, yeah, thanks. And happy belated Halloween. If I haven't wished you a happy Halloween already, thank you so much for checking out the videos, and thank you for listening to the podcast, wherever it is that you listen, whether that be on the socials of some kind or through the YouTube channel, Eurasian Golden Hour. I thank you, and I appreciate it. And go on out there and enjoy your golden hour.